Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business brokers and mergers and acquisition specialists from across the country. Joining me on this segment is Robert Dean. He's the founder of Banner Business Sales out of Los Angeles, California. Robert, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here.
Robert, tell us a little bit about your work, and specifically, who are the types of folks that you specialize in helping?
Well, I've been a business broker since 2008, and I help people that are interested in selling their businesses, and I also help people that are interested in purchasing businesses.
So recently in the news, coming out of this pandemic, we've heard about the Great Resignation and people wanting to leave their corporate jobs and do something on their own. Has this really affected your industry? What have you seen out there?
Well, we've seen a lot of interested buyers looking to get into their own businesses and become their own boss, so they don't have to deal with the corporate chaos that's going on. And they want to become entrepreneurs, which is a great way to, grow as an individual and grow as a business owner. And it's very important for these individuals to definitely do their research and do their due diligence before jumping into becoming a business owner. There's a lot that's involved when owning a business. You have to know how to start from the beginning if you're not purchasing a business. So from the beginning, you're wearing many, many hats. You're doing the accounting, you're doing your marketing, you're just learning all about what goes into owning a business. But it's also very advantageous to purchase a business. It takes a little more working capital to obviously buy a business, but then you have everything already started. It gives you an advantage, and you go in there with your feet running, as they say. So, there's a lot of interest out there in people purchasing companies. And there's a lot of websites that will show what companies are available, such as BizBuySell, BizBand, BizQuest. So people can go and peruse all the businesses that are for sale. But looking at the businesses, it is known that only 20 to 30% of those businesses sell, because you really have to do your due diligence when looking at these businesses. And a lot of businesses don't sell for several reasons. Mainly the current owner has an unrealistic price set in his mind that he wants, but the business isn't worth that much. Also, some businesses have terrible books and records, so the buyer really doesn't know what's going on. So you really have to do your due diligence when purchasing a business.
So, it seems a little counterintuitive coming out of this pandemic here, which has been really wreaking a lot of havoc with businesses across the country. Is it really a good time to purchase a business today or get into a business? Talk about what are the opportunities today?
It depends on which business you're looking at. If you're looking at a restaurant, that is a very tough opportunity at this time. But obviously, if you're looking at a business that's making masks, that's not a bad time, although that would go down after the pandemic leaves. But manufacturing companies, it depends on what type of product they're manufacturing. I specialize a lot in construction industries and businesses such as plumbing, roofing, electrical, HVAC, and those businesses are still doing well, and they're essential businesses. So, you have to realize what type of business you're getting into and do your due diligence and see how it's doing. A lot of the businesses I'm dealing with now did not take that much of a hit during COVID, and actually a few of them have done even better. I'm working on a very large dog daycare and boarding facility with revenues close to $4 million, and they're doing well, and they did well in 2021. They did go down a little in 2020, but their revenues are close or above pre-pandemic levels.
So for folks considering selling their businesses today, and considering that there are more buyers entering the marketplace today, is it a good time to sell?
Yeah, it is a good time to sell because there are buyers out there that are interested in purchasing. And there's a lot of, factors that go into the sale. Sellers also have to take into account the, cash flow that they are presenting to the buyer, and making sure that the buyer can, if he's taking a loan out, if they can service the debt with the asking price that they want. So if the asking price is reasonable and the buyer has both the ability to purchase the business and have the knowledge of running that specific type of business, it could work out for both parties and be a win-win situation. As I always say, if there's a willing seller and a willing buyer, then a deal can usually always get done.
When thinking about the buyers and the sellers, oftentimes, unless they're serial entrepreneurs, it's like the first time they're even looking at buying a business or selling a business. So they probably don't know what they don't know, if you will, and have a lot of questions. What are like some of the most common or frequently asked questions that you get from buyers and sellers that are like doing this for the first time?
Well, it's always very advantageous for both the buyer and sellers to have a team behind them to assist them with the sale. As a broker, I can answer a lot of their questions, but I always tell them I'm not an attorney and I'm not a CPA. So when it comes to those types of questions, I can give them some guidance, but they really do need to talk to their advisors to assist them. Questions that buyers ask, the first one is always, why are they selling? The seller is selling, usually in my case, that they are retiring. That's the best scenario for me. I like working with older business owners that are looking to retire, and they're looking to get out of their, well, I shouldn't say get out, but leave their business and pass it on to the next person so they can continue to run it and keep the legacy going. Some sellers, when they're doing very well, they just want to cash out on it, on the business, and take their money and sometimes go into other businesses and go on to new adventures in their life. Sometimes sellers are having issues with their businesses and they want to get out of it. But that's a harder sell, as buyers don't want to take on the problems of the business. Where I have a business now where there's a problem with the lease, and the current landlord is a developer looking to develop the whole block. So with a month-to-month lease, you're not going to get a buyer to purchase that business. So, my advice is to always have your own advisors to assist you when purchasing a business.
Robert, what inspired you to become a business broker? How did you get started?
I got started actually back in 2008, right at the beginning of the recession. I left my other job, which was in the publishing industry in the entertainment business. And I was starting a magazine that had to do with charities and celebrities, because I had a lot of celebrity contacts from my previous job. And I had publishing experience from previous job before that. And so I wanted to start a magazine that had to do with charities and celebrities and businesses that supported charities. So I started that, and I had some celebrities on board with me, but then the recession hit. So that was the end of that idea. So having no job and no income, and the entertainment industry was kind of slow during the recession. And I saw an ad to become a business broker and met with the owner of that brokerage company and just started brokering businesses. And starting out in the recession, it was hard, but you learn a lot and you stick to it. And then good things come. And I started selling businesses and kept with it.
Before I ask you my last question, Robert, for somebody that's considering selling their business, or if somebody's looking for a business to purchase, what is the most important thing they should consider when looking for a business broker to work with?
Well, most important thing would be how long he's been a broker and in the industry, because having a person who's done it for 10, 15 years, they really get an insight of the workings of a business and everything that goes on into selling a business and assisting both the buyer and seller and putting a deal together. And with that knowledge of 10, 15 years of selling businesses, you really learn a lot, which can assist in the sale and a smooth transition of the business to a new buyer. You want the buyer to be happy with the purchase and the ability to maintain and run it and grow it. And you want the seller to be happy where the broker got the best price possible for the seller. So you just want both parties to be happy at the end. And in my case, it's always worked out for the better, and both parties have always been happy.
For folks listening now, if they're either selling a business or looking to purchase a business and they'd like to speak with you, Robert, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, my website is bannerbusinesssales.com. My phone number is area code 310-793-6757. I'm always available to talk, give advice, and help either a buyer or a seller to gain more knowledge in either selling or buying a business. So as I tell all my clients, you call me anytime and I'll call you back immediately.
Robert, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and sharing with my audience today. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thank you, Mark. I think you do a great job. I've seen some of your other interviews and videos, and you do a great job in getting the word out to people that want to help other people. So kudos to you too.
Thank you for the kind words. That was Robert Dean. He's the founder of Banner Business Sales. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.